You go swimming not expecting to fight for your life with alien-like creatures. If you suddenly feel your hand burning in the water, it's probably a jellyfish sting. But when some entity tries to stick to your face, that's a bad sign. The ocean is like open space, full of unknown dangers, and sometimes its inhabitants can sometimes go on the attack. You are on Top Facts channel, and today we'll show you stories about sea creatures that will make you quickly get out of the water. Enjoy watching! Beach lovers on the Baltic Sea in July of 2016 were joined by a wild boar whose behavior was literally wild. After taking a dip, it started running around the sand, terrorizing innocent vacationers. Such an animal in panic can be quite dangerous, not to mention that children were scared to hiccups. So, it made a lot of noise before heading back into the forest. Why was it so enraged? Was it not used to swimming with others? Or maybe couldn't find the exit? Dogs love to swim with people, and a diver coming out of the water on the Florida coast mistook a dark animal figure in the waves for a black German Shepherd. On this clear June day in 2023, the beast in Destin was full of swimmers, but when the animal ran ashore, everyone recognized it as a black bear cub. It swam effortlessly among the crowd and apparently wasn't anyone's pet. Such a sight is rare, and of course, people's main reaction was shock. But since the bear was small and very cute, moving its paws so amusingly, fondness prevailed. No one tried to chase it away. Bears are very smart, and the Florida heat is exhausting. Who knows, maybe it was looking just to get out of the heat for a while. The larger the crabs, the stronger and scarier they are. One of the largest crabs on the planet weighs around 9 pounds with a claw span of over 3 feet and can easily break the hardest shells, in this case, a golf club. They usually feed on large prey, and they can even catch a seagull. You surely wouldn't want to nap or sunbathe on a beach full of these crabs. No kidding, with such scissors, it would be easy to snip off a person's finger. Be careful, don't put your hands in their claws. Octopuses may seem quite peaceful and safe to interact with in the water, until the Kraken spirit awakes in them. A diver in southern Chile faced overwhelming circumstances. He tried with all his might to pull a very sticky and stubborn octopus off his back. It chose the right spot. With several attempts, the man managed to detach only a few of the tentacles. Although onlookers laughed, the struggle was clearly exhausting. Most likely, the octopus mistook the diver for a big fish and clung to him to escape a larger marine predator. Squids are predators by nature, but they retreat in the face of a larger opponent. A rare encounter occurred between a marine biologist's submarine and colossal squids, which mistook it for a whale. The squad of squids launched its coordinated attack on the equipment. They released their ink reserves so fiercely, it seemed like they were seeking revenge. Although this tactic is used only for defense, they were attempting to use it in their attack. A trip to Lake Chamo in Ethiopia left a lasting impression on tourists. They saw a very long body in the water, but upon closer inspection, from the boat, it seemed snake-like, very long and thin, covered in scales. Most likely, they encountered a huge, scaly crocodile. And if measured with a tape measure, its length was at least 23 feet, which is so much bigger than your average room. A tourist and a companion decided to explore the clear fresh waters, but noticed in time that they were joined by a dangerous neighbor. A crocodile dived in from the shore and headed straight for them. To unfortunately be in this man-eater's kitchen, we sadly don't know what happened next, but it's unlikely that this adventure was too pleasant. Crocodiles are very skillful and patient at hiding underwater, camouflaging to match the color and terrain. They can stay still for hours waiting for prey. In this video, an unlucky fisherman almost became the prey. Did he really not see the crocodile so close to him? Or did he not think that it would attack so swiftly? With crocodiles, time is measured in seconds, so it easily could have turned into a horrible tragedy. A crocodile is not a cat. It will not wait for a piece from your hand, but will try to take it itself. And predicting what it'll target can sometimes be difficult. In footage from Costa Rica, we can see the real dangers that wildlife enthusiasts expose themselves to. In 2013, a group set out for a photo shoot. They were planning to bait the crocodiles to bring them closer, but apparently they only teased the predators. When the man ran out of meat, the crocodile decided that the feeder would be the next piece. Immediately attacking, he barely managed to jump back. It's amazing how different the psychology of humans and animals can be arranged. The guy clearly did not expect such ingratitude. Luckily, the bank was steep and slippery, and the crocodile could not climb it quickly enough. It's good that there is such a video, but please know that under no circumstances should you be so naive in a predator's environment. The beaches are full of dangers: crocodiles, piranhas, sharks, poisonous jellyfish. In this video, amateur footage taken in Mexico in August of 2014 shows a terrifying case of an alligator chasing after a swimmer. The person apparently decided to take a quick dip, but miscalculated the place and time. A giant crocodile immediately rushed after him. The person filming was in a panic, but stood on a high bridge and could not help, only watching in horror. Someone thought that maybe throwing a distracting object into the water could help, but who knows if you would hit the right spot. Hope the person was able to get safely out of the water, catch their breath, and then thank their saviors. The most dangerous sea predators are not necessarily sharks. They can be smaller creatures. For example, jellyfish. They can be deadly for swimmers and surfers, and spotting them in the water is much harder. But not this specimen. A jellyfish called the lion's mane you definitely won't miss. Tourists on the beach of Vancouver Island found it on the sand, and it looks nightmarish. These types of jellyfish are the largest on the planet and inhabit only deep waters where they pose no danger. But if they get washed into shallow waters, beware. Even the jellyfish's color warnings tell that it's poisonous. If you can't miss the lion's mane jellyfish, this cunning predator camouflages itself by pretending to be an underwater rock. It was never before seen on the Indian coast near the city of Kerala. A deadly jellyfish in shallow water is unprecedented. Its sting is strong enough to instantly kill a person, and such a gelatinous mass poses a serious danger to dozens of people entering or surfacing from the water. It's good that it was discovered in time, otherwise the consequences could have been terrible. Here's another tip: before entering the water, look along the shore. A Taiwanese family was walking along the beach and noticed a shiny head in the water. Some organisms were swimming in the water, seemingly following them. Some even got worried. Upon closer inspection, they decided that it was a strange jellyfish, remarkably resembling an alien. Its body even resembled the well-known statue of a mermaid. But human imagination is clearly poorer than Mother Nature's, since there are still unknown organisms to us. Or maybe Martians also love resorts. It's time for an open discussion. I can't wait to see what you write in the comments on the video. It was filmed on April 15, 2014, on a beach in Peru. A well-known YouTuber named Stevio noticed dozens of jellyfish on the shore. Deciding to fool around with them, he put one on his head like a hat. A second after putting on the jellyfish, nicknamed the Sting, the blogger was already jumping from the pain and tried to cool down by putting on another one. It's important to remember that even if a jellyfish's lifespan has ended, it can still deliver deadly venomous stings. To understand what drives people to such actions, you can clearly find out how many subscribers he has. But I suggest you subscribe to our channel to watch new, interesting episodes on various topics. This is probably the most dangerous fishing I've ever seen. A fisherman in the Amazon rainforest demonstrated shocking piranha fishing. he used a raw piece of meat and his hands for bait. No rods needed. In just a minute, he caught nearly a full boatload. Just imagine what could have happened if someone stepped into that water. One question: how does the fisherman plan to swim back? Small piranhas cause terror when they chop up everything, but imagine what giant piranhas can do. In January 2017, a video appeared of a person throwing a small tuna to several dozen predatory fish, which he called giant piranhas. Their behavior was no different from the smaller counterparts, and the tuna was devoured in seconds, bones and all. A horrifying sight, surely, especially if you consider they move in large groups with a monstrous appetite. This catch in the Philippines in July of 2018 was a jackpot, not only for the fisherman and his team, but for the entire village. Amazingly, they caught a huge sunfish weighing over 66 pounds on a wooden rod. The main character carried this stunningly beautiful catch on his shoulders to show everyone. It truly shimmered like the moon, but the size of Jupiter, and its fins of a unique bright orange color burned like fire. This miracle fish fed the entire village for an entire week. Sometimes it just makes sense to go on a successful fishing trip just once. When fishing for large fish, you can catch big trouble. Fishing in Florida in May of 2012 almost turned dangerous for this one man. He got out of the boat and almost became bait for a giant grouper. When the Goliath fish attacked, the fisherman panicked and tried with all his might to get out, which was not easy. Another fisherman could not immediately drop his rod to pull out his friend, and the line could have gotten tangled or jerked violently due to the fish's leap. In general, when everything happens quickly, it can become an unfortunate accident. The conclusion is to not get out of the boat. Isn't that obvious? We're used to dolphins being possibly the best friends of humans after dogs, but they have bad moods too. In May 2016, a guy from South Africa on vacation in Miami decided to swim with dolphins at a special resort. However, it was clearly not his day. A dolphin swam up to him close, and there was a slapping sound. What exactly happened? The tail slapped his face, leaving everyone puzzled. For what, you might ask? I suppose it was as painful as it was offensive. You might naturally fear a shark biting your hand, but this guy decided to touch it for some reason. A long hammerhead shark swallowed the bait and needed to be brought on board somehow, but it did not hesitate and slapped during the first attempt to pull it out of the water. Even after getting in the boat, it continued to slap its long tail, not wanting to give up. The worst thing that can happen to you on the beach is if you get caught finding yourself watching a fight of the predators. Tourists on a Maldivian beach were going for a swim, but suddenly noticed a baby shark desperately chasing a young stingray. It seemed the shark was just starting to hone its hunting skills, but it managed to tire out the stingray. Until the stingray found a convenient moment to use its weapon, its stinging tail. The stingray turned the situation to its favor. Most people know that a blow from a creature like that can be deadly. In this fight, both took risks. It's unlikely that the tourists entered the waves that day, as they probably preferred the pool. Guys from Hawaii are not afraid of devils or sharks if they go swimming in the ocean on a flimsy low kayak. A fishing trip happened on April 2013 when a fisherman named Isaac rejoiced at a great catch, but not for long. His catch was stolen by a great white shark, which apparently was fishing with him on the other side of the barricade. Amazingly, Isaac did not lose his composure, and for such a predator, it was nothing to overturn the kayak for. Tiger sharks are considered some of the most aggressive, but sometimes they surprise with their unpredictable behavior. Two fishermen in kayaks were waiting for a bite when the sudden appearance of a tiger shark forced one of them to quickly pull his legs onto the boat. The curious shark swam under the boat but found nothing of interest and disappeared into the depths. The guys exhaled and probably didn't put their legs in the water again. Several tourist boats cruise in shallow waters near Robinson Island off the coast of Orange Beach in Alabama, and in the clear water, they noticed a group of hammerhead sharks. Look how frightening their neighborhood can be. Do you remember the movie Jaws? The hammers began circling the boats, a typical display of predatory behavior. I swear I'm glad that no tourists decided to swim at this exact moment. Maybe the hammers mistook the boat as a feeding tour? Or maybe they were having some kind of party. Surfing is a dangerous sport, not only because of huge waves and sharp reefs, but because of predators that can suddenly attack you. The situation took a horrifying turn for French surfer Dylan Nakas during his visit to the popular Australian surf spot Bells Beach. This place has very powerful waves. Athletes from all over the world come here. But for Dylan, the ride turned into a fight for survival when he encountered an aggressive shark. Credit to his bravery, the guy began to fight back against the predator and managed to stay on his board. Although he suffered minor injuries, in the end, he delivered 2 significant blows to the shark, and with the help of another surfer, he reached the shore. Dylan escaped with a few lacerations and lifelong memories. A group of yachtsmen were racing the waves at sunset off the coast of San Diego, California. But they were not the only ones enjoying the speed. Killer whales were following the boat, themselves the size of a good boat amongst the ruthless predators. The excursion turned into a high-speed chase, and one of the killer whales jumped dangerously close behind the stern. Who knows, maybe they just wanted to play tag, obeying the instinct to follow the moving object or settle some scores. I tell you that there were no fewer than 30 killer whales around the boat. You'd understand that it's pretty nerve-wracking. But at some point, the predators lost interest and left the boat alone. Beachgoers in Mexico witnessed an inexplicable phenomenon. A whole group of dolphins tried to beach themselves. They just headed straight to the sand, as if they were driven mad. They purposely moved onto the shore as if something was calling them. As a rule, after such beachings, it's hard for them to return to the deep, but we don't know the reasons for their attempted suicide. Some suggest that these animals were disoriented or disturbed by the Marines' infantry sonar. In any case, it's most likely the result of human activity in the ocean. When you think you finally found a quiet cove for swimming, you might have to share it with whales and bears. Otherwise, what forced these large animals to huddle in a narrow bay in British Columbia? Canada is a unique natural reserve, and sometimes atypical things happen here. Schools of fish came into the harbor to spawn. Bears came for fish, and humpback whales, well, I don't know why they're here. Maybe they brought fish for the bears. When a shark, dolphin, killer whale, or whale approaches you, it's still possible to recognize them from a distance. On a whale watching tour, boats keep a respectful distance so that gentle moves by the giants does not overturn the vessel. During this excursion, the observers encountered an unusual sight. Firstly, unexpected, and secondly, incomprehensible. Something started bubbling and moving rapidly in the water. A part of a huge body flashed, and nobody knew what to think. Some thought it was a killer whale attacking a manatee. Others did not look for familiar explanations and talked about a mythical sea serpent. The most terrifying finds on the beach are the remains of very large animals. Often, you don't even know what species they belong to. In May 2016, tourists in Ireland found a horrific carcass on Duncannon Beach. The animal seemed unfamiliar, a bizarre face, hard scaly back, and some sort of neck with sabers on the neck, a bony protrusion above the tail. The incredible body length exceeded 33 feet, and the hypothesis was that the carcass belonged to a shark or a blue whale. But that clearly seems laughable. This is something entirely different. Most likely, such creature that was described in ancient mythology as sea monsters. In March 2017, another giant sea monster was washed ashore on the British coast. It was a mysterious creature with an unconventional body structure. One might suggest it was a long whale, already decayed, if not for a part of a whale fin stuck in its jaws. This suggests that not all sea monsters are known to us. Authorities warned people to stay away from the carcass until protocols for an official investigation were compiled. The creature's unique features puzzled experts and worried the local community. How many more skeletons are in the closet and secrets of the ocean's depths? Sometimes it's impossible to recognize what's in the water until you pull it out. But not in this case. The creature was too large to guess. A boat with passengers was moving along the Yangtze River when crew members noticed a giant body on the surface. The creature had a tail like an alligator, but the size surpassed whales. Spectators on social media called it the Lochness Monster. Considering the size and description, it fits. It moves strangely, not like a fish, but like a snake. Maybe it got tired of the Scottish Highlands and decided to move to rural China. And that's all we have for you today. If you liked our next selection and want to continue watching our videos, we have chosen some of the best, most interesting episodes just for you. They've already appeared on your screen.